So welcome to another Wargame review from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And today we're taking a look at the Battles of the American Revolution Tri-Pack 2 from GMT Games. So this Tri-Pack includes Monmouth, Germantown, Newtown, and also
A bonus game.
Oriskany. They still call it a Tri-Pack though. What are you going to do? So this is designed by Mark Mikolos, and this is obviously a collection of the old
Yep.
kind of editions of these that they've had out. Now they've mounted the maps, refreshed the counters, got you the play aids, redone the cards.
Well, and one thing I actually didn't know about this, but there's a solitaire tactics table.
Oh,
so
is that new for this box?
I think it is.
This
is by Joel Toppin. So Joel is the designer of Navajo Wars and Comanche Wars, or Comancheria, sorry.
Yes.
But the one thing about this game that I think is so great are the tactics cards.
And this does the tactic.
Yes.
You roll a die.
So I think you roll a die. Now, I haven't read the rules, but I think you roll a die and it tells you what they will play.
And it's like,
And it makes
sense.
sense.
If it's plausible, right?
Right.
Or if it's not.
Enemy has no leader, flank not possible. I mean, there's several.
That's very interesting.
So I have not.
So you roll a die, and then it looks like there's a filter that you go through.
Well,
That's very interesting.
remember, the way the tactics cards work is if you have a leader either adjacent or in the hex,
Yeah.
you get access to all 8 of them. If you don't, you only get access to the basic 4. So this kind of simulates that, I think, and then
Yeah, like if you engage with a leader,
Yep. And
it's
here's
like,
the
if these
conditions.
are plausible, then you're going to roll a die of different
Yep.
sizes to
Yeah,
get
this
which
is a-
card you would do.
This is a D8. There's a D6 and a D10.
Just based on 5, 3, and 4
Right,
choices
right.
and stuff. That's really interesting.
So it's rolling a die, but I think I made the comment when I
But it's within criteria, though.
yeah,
It's not just a
it
die
makes
roll.
some sense. But I think when I unboxed it, I even made the comment, one of my favorite parts is the tactics cards, because it's an extra layer of depth that really makes for an interesting experience. How many times did we sit there against Mark at WBC playing this game,
Yeah.
going, okay, he's going to do this, but then I want to do this one, but then what if he does this? And it was...
Yeah, or he thinks I'm going to do this.
So I'm gonna do
So I'm going
this.
to do this.
Or I'm
because
gonna do
he's
what
gonna
he
do
thinks-
that in
Yep.
reaction to what he thinks I'm going to think I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And it goes on and on and on. And he's always right.
And it's funny, we were having a good time with that.
Yeah.
I think we were trying to deke him, like, well, we're going to do this one, because if we were that strong about it, to me that sending a message to him that, oh, they're doing a frontal assault because I had the odds or whatever. But so I thought that was cool that it looks
Yeah,
like
that's
they have
very
a
neat.
solitaire, and then there's some variants. I'm sorry. So this is the variants for the tactical, and then that's the matrix.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. Now, I haven't read it. The other thing that I think is so interesting, and we have not played Newtown or Oriskany, I think those are one of the two that we would like to play.
Yes.
There are Indian capabilities for the different units, which I think are fascinating. It's just going to add a little difference and depth to the game.
I think those have a lot more kind of of these unique things built into it.
Yeah.
So let's start with that. We played Germantown.
Yes.
And we played it with Mark Mikolos at WBC.
Which was a real joy. Thank you, Mark, for your time. I know he's annoyed by our, going back, our bravado and our American, hey, we're going to kick you in the teeth, and we ended up getting trounced.
Well, I think he appreciates playing with us because the results are always in his favor.
Yeah, right. He always wins. Mark always wins.
But so huge shout out to Mark, A, for having designed such a well-renowned and storied system, but also taking his time after playing a week's worth of tournaments of this
Yeah.
to kind of round out the convention. This was our last game of the convention, so we sat and we played this and just played through the evening, had a good time, messed around with it.
That's the other thing that's really interesting to me. I think he's a little older than us.
He's a little older than me, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, I'm 52. I think he's a little older than me.
I think he's a little bit older than me,
Yeah. But the energy that guy has is just crazy.
Yes.
The fact that he played 8 different games the entire week and then helped with running the tournament and then still had the energy to sit with us for 3.5 hours and play this game was just amazing.
Yeah.
So
I look forward to playing more of these with him throughout the coming months and years for sure. But all that to say, this box and these particular Battles of the American Revolution series, they're 2-player hex encounter kind of, we'll call them tactical.
yeah, I think they're tactical.
It's a battle game. Like,
Yep.
we're going to play the battle, and it's like, here's my guys, I'm going to line them up. Here's
Yep.
your guys, line them up. Different units, different types, different values, all sorts of different considerations. You know, oh, my artillery do this. Oh, my militia do this. Oh, this particular leader can only lead militia. Right?
Right.
There's a lot of intricacy in this game. It's not a game for the faint of heart necessarily, but at the same time, it's not an overwhelming game. Like, you could just pick
Yeah.
up the rules, and if you've never played one of these before, you could do it. It's not that big a deal. Some of the games are much bigger than others, is what I would say. Some of them are smaller, fewer units, and so it's quicker to play those.
Yep.
And there's a pretty big spectrum of that across the series. And they're also even going into small BoAR,
Yep.
which is going to be like real small short games, which is very exciting, more like skirmishes.
Well, think of battles like Cowpens in South Carolina, or Camden, or Hubbardton. I mean, those are where there were 30 or 40 guys on one side and 30 or 40 guys on the other side.
Yeah, as opposed to Saratoga,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's
Right.
the difference in scale. They've got a different system for the different, literally size and scale for those. So there's more coming from this, which is exciting. But we sat down and played Germantown, and it was really enjoyable.
100%.
I've liked all the games we played. 'Cause I think we played Savannah
Brandywine Creek.
and Brandywine Creek.
Those are the 3 that we've played now,
And
including Germantown.
Germantown was really cool because there's a lot of maneuver to be had. There's some really interesting decisions to make about the Chew House, which is this big strong point right in the middle of the map that the Americans have to go through or past,
or just ignore and go around, exactly.
and then kind of form and fight this pretty significant British and Hessian line in and around Market Square. But they have to deal with Stevens.
Is it Major General Stephen?
I can't remember
I can't
his
remember, but
title.
yeah.
But so the way that we played it 3-player, where you were Washington and what's the other guy's name?
Matt Anthony Wayne.
Wayne, that's right. I
You
was
were
Green
Nathaniel
and
Green,
Stevens.
yeah.
But historically, Stevens shows up to this battle drunk.
Yeah.
And he's like ordering his troops and countermanding those orders, and they're doing all this other stuff, and there was issues of friendly fire and things like that. And so I played as kind of that set of units who come from I'm going to call it the north. I don't know if it actually is based on the map.
I don't see a...
It's north based on how it's printed.
Yeah, North's right here.
Well, north, okay, so it's
you
more
were
like east.
east.
But we had 2 formations converging to attack the British, but Stevens he's not in control of his units. So Stevens in all of his formations,
It's Stephen.
Stephen,
Not
it's not plural.
Stevens. Stephen.
He rolls a die on the Stephen, possessive movement table, and he moves all of his units
There he is right there.
as far as possible within their movement allowance in that direction.
Yep.
And so sometimes you'll roll and they'll go this way. And then you'll roll again and they'll just go
this
that
way.
way.
Yeah.
And sometimes they go this way.
Sometimes they go in the right direction.
Yeah, so, which is great.
And I think that mimics not only the fact that he was drunk, but there was like fog that morning. Because
There was also, yes.
I think it's the first 3 turns.
The first 3 turns there is fog,
Like
and
the
after that
6
you start rolling to see if the fog dissipates.
Right, but the fog, I think, led to the confusion. But his
Made it
drunkenness
worse.
didn't help.
But what happens is then if you end up, if Stephen and all of his units, or any of his units, end up starting moving adjacent to the other Patriot units, you then roll on the potential friendly fire table.
Yep.
And so, you get a whole formation
That's right,
smashes into the rest of these guys. It could be okay.
Well,
It's unlikely, but it could
yeah,
be.
I feel like you're rolling a 10-sider, and I thought it was 0 led to them panicking.
Yes, 1 through 9,
Okay.
no effect.
Yeah, so majority of the time you're going to be okay. But
But
if one
It only takes one.
If one breaks, I think then they start to kind of break, and it can be a domino effect.
That's the real cool thing is, you know, you roll that 1-0 and you're like, because then
Everybody
you get a
around them.
panic marker.
Yep.
And then all the adjacent guys panic. And then you start to roll to see if all of those guys panic and the panic spreads.
Yep.
And then you've also got more potential friendly fire. So it can happen again. And it spreads from there as well. And so once you start doing all that, you then roll to like damage each other. And then they've got these panic markers and they just flee. When you have a panic marker, you run away. And so you had this nice battle line we spent ages setting up. And then like half of it just runs away. Your flank just is gone.
Crumbles. Yeah.
And then the British are all of a sudden like, cool.
Yeah.
And they walk up and fold you up like a deck chair, and then the game's over. But it's so fun because that can happen.
It won't happen every game.
It's potentially
but it's a risk.
It does, or it's like not that bad.
Yeah.
Because once that happens initially, it then can't happen again.
Yeah.
So if you get away with it, you get away with it. If not, it can go disastrously.
Yeah.
And everything in between. But that was a really fun, very unique part to Germantown to contend with. And we all had a good laugh about it.
Well, and I remember we had this conversation. That's one of the best parts about playing with Mark is the continual conversations about the bits of history. But I had kind of the epiphany after we've played a couple of volumes. It's very interesting how they interject these historical elements into the game with very simple mechanics. Just a little table that you roll on, and
it makes a massive difference.
Yeah, the panicking thing, or the militia and the leadership, and then you had the Hessians here in this battle. Then you had the Chew House. It was just fantastic to sit there, play this game, and see all of those historical elements really, I think, seamlessly integrated into a very cool system that made for a very interesting play experience and taught us something about history. I probably at one time had read that, the Major General Stephen or whatever he was, and the effects, and I'd kind of forgotten it, but I'm like, oh, well, that's really cool. It's cool that that's involved.
And it can make a significant difference.
Yeah.
Or it might not, but like you get to see that. And I think engaging with things like that was a paragraph in a book is so much, it brings it to life in a way and like solidify, like, you'll never forget that now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And I think the other thing I really love about not just Germantown, but all the other ones that we've played is how different they are from each other.
Oh, yes.
And you know, we talked to Mark about Oriskany, and we've kind of poked around on the board. You know, that looks like it's, having
Very
played
different.
them, very different in all of them, right?
Yep.
Savannah, totally different. We had to bring in a
Savannah
whole
was
bunch
more
of
of a
guys,
siege.
and but then like you get into like the siege part, and like that's like a whole thing. Even Brandywine,
Yeah.
a totally different thing. The struggle in that game was just like trying to cross a ford, and it
Yeah.
it was so difficult.
With rifle fire that was targeting leaders. I mean, it was crazy.
But how divergent they are from each other, hung on the same core system, is a huge credit to the design team. Mark does a lot of it. He's always got developers that work with him. But also, just the longevity of it, how he's able to do these things. And
well, what are there, 11 volumes now with a 12th that's coming out?
Yeah, and because he wants to do 13, right? One for each of the colonies.
Yeah, which is phenomenal. And then they've got the small bore, which they have the one that's being designed, Cowpens.
And they've got a lot in the works.
And then they've got the other one, Hubbardton, and I can't remember the other small battle, but that's going to be volume 2.
It's going to be a dual pack.
I think there's 2 battles.
Which is so cool.
And I mean, I know of 5. Kings Mountain is another one that would be a perfect fit for this. I'm sure there's some action in every colony that would fit this.
Yeah, and they've got other guys coming to the system to do that.
Yeah.
So I think the system's got a lot of longevity, and I mean, they have a tournament every year at WBC, right? People love this game.
And there's like 20 to 30 people that come every year to play it.
It's not going anywhere.
Which is amazing.
And I think as more people kind of get into it and love it, more, you know, the odds are more likely that someone's going to want to put in that additional time to design a volume and things like that. So that's something that I look forward to more from this system in the future as well, because I don't think it's going anywhere.
Well, one thing I want to make a comment about with the tri-pack is, as you know, anytime GMT does one of these deluxe edition reissuing, they go all out, right? They update the art, they don't always change everything, but they update the rules.
But any fixes go into it.
Right.
And
Errata that gets incorporated.
And Mark does put in lots of clarifications.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, hey, this is a rule. It looks like this. Do not do this.
Yeah.
Because he hears all of it from, us trying to rules lawyer things in our favor.
Right.
He's like, this is the decision.
Yeah.
And so you get like, here's the big red text in the rulebook that wasn't in the prior volume, right? He's got a lot of that stuff in there too.
But the fact that there are 4 separate games included in this box is phenomenal to me. It's a solid system, amazing to play, teaches such amazing history, and then it's such an amazing value.
Yeah.
They've done the first 2 tri-packs. I am sure they want to do a third.
Oh, I mean,
because there's still probably 5 or 6 games that are still harder to get. Obviously, the newer ones aren't as hard to get.
And I don't know which ones are which, because this has been around for a while.
Right.
But I don't doubt that this is how they'll just put them out in the future. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they redid all of them like this.
Yeah. But I think the value is there. The additional elements like Joel Toppin's variant for the solitaire. That's amazing. That's amazing.
And this looks like, so I don't, he just says here, like, this was reprinted from C3I22. So
okay.
Which is interesting, but I don't know that I've
not
seen this before, though.
I had not either.
So I think that's...
So there you go. It was in C3I.
But I don't know if that's just this part was versus this. I don't know. But I didn't know there was like a solo module like that for this at all.
I didn't either.
It's news
so
to
that's
me.
a bonus, right? But I do love the system. It feels very tactical, but has a lot of maneuver. I love how you have to use your cavalry to be a delaying force, because the reality is cavalry can run away really easy.
Yep.
They don't have to necessarily be afraid of being caught, although it can happen. But you want to run your cavalry way far up the roads, because when they advance into there, they can't keep moving, right? You can't strategic move adjacent to units, so you've got to play those cavalry. We have learned that from Mark. We have seen him do that in Savannah and in this. And I thought this last time, I did a really good job of kind of mimicking his tactics.
Yeah.
I thought he was impressed. Now, he was laughing, but I still thought he was impressed.
But that's the tactical richness of this system, where the units are so, they play, each different unit type plays so differently. Cavalry, artillery, infantry.
Yeah.
Even difference between infantry, rifles, and militia.
Yep.
Within that as subsets, they're all so different that there's so much to play around with. And I say that compared to something like, we played Blue and Gray earlier today, where like
very basic.
All the units have the same movement points, and they all just like shoot the same. Like, there's no difference between cav and infantry in that game, other than they've usually got higher numbers.
Yeah.
But like, how individuated each of the different units and unit types are is such a cool thing to play around with. Forming good stacks is vital in this game.
Keeping a solid line.
And I also like, and I think this is something I've come to appreciate about this game that I don't find as much in other games. It's there, but it's not as much, is you have time in this game. And I felt like it was the same thing in Germantown. Savannah was like this too, where it's like, let's get my guys into position, and you know what? We're going to take a whole turn
to get organized.
Just to rearrange some of my stacks.
Yeah.
To make optimized stacks. To like get my lines in order and do that. Whereas I feel like in something like World War II games, oftentimes it's like, do I have an infantry? Do I have a tank? Let's go.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, it was like, okay, I brought all my guys up. We got there. I was just bringing them up, rushing them. Now that I'm here, all right, let's finesse this, and then let's launch an attack. And that to me feels like something that's typically quite historical, where that's a lot of how these battles, back when it was lines of guys, was organized, right? I got my guys to the field first. I'm going to make them as good as they can be, and then we're going to send them forwards, because we did all of that outside of artillery range.
Yeah.
And I'm safe to have done that. And when you do that in this, I move my guys up. I'm X amount of hexes away because that's the artillery range. Then we're going to charge them forward once I'm ready to do it. And so few games I feel like I have the breathing space to do that, or there's not that much value in it. But the value in making like good quality stacks is so high that it's worth it. I'm like, okay, I need to invest that.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of turns, but I'm going to spend a turn doing that instead of just knocking my head against the wall, which is a lot of what I do in other games.
Well, and I think to reinforce that point, having the leaders in the right spots
Oh, yes.
to make
Very
sure
important.
that they are able to offer their benefit not only in the strategy and tactics cards, but their bonuses either to combat if they are a military leader, because there's a difference, right? There's some military leaders, and then Washington is more kind of the morale leader.
Yes.
You want Wayne and Green up with the troops, because Washington's in the middle to the back. Now he's getting shot at. Don't discount his bravery, but he's like trying to rally and organize.
Yeah,
and that's his
the guys
his
who are
bonus.
pulling back off the line because of retreats and fleeing.
Get back in it.
He's catching them and sending them back forward again.
So having those leaders in the right spots, having your units that have good morale and have good bonuses for that morale. If you remember, troop quality is a big concept in this game.
Huge concept.
So my militia down here along the Schuylkill River were running up against trained Hessians, and I was breaking a lot, right?
Yes.
But it's because I was at a disadvantage, had a negative DRM to my rolls, and it just was very, very hard. So keeping that, I would, after we talked, we kind of debriefed, I'm like, okay, I would have run, these Patriots down there to kind of benefit them, or these Continentals.
Yeah,
and,
you like spread them out a bit maybe.
yeah, but I learned, right? I
Yeah.
would never make that mistake again. I also think I also had that experience with Savannah, where I got up against the walls, and I'm like, oh, I don't have a good mix here, and ultimately Mark would hit me with his cannon every single time.
That was a
which was
disaster
insane.
from start to finish because of the weather.
But I love these systems. We've played 3 games now. We are definitely going to play either Newtown or Oriskany.
Yes.
We need to
because
schedule that.
And we've picked those because those have like
They're different.
All of this. They got so much different stuff, and I also find battles or games that include like the Indian irregulars and things to be
interesting.
very interesting. You just get something a little bit different than my line of blue guys and the line of red guys.
Yeah.
Not that that's what this is, but I like something that's a little bit fresh and different and isn't just another Saratoga. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But something that's a little fresh and new,
Some
I
variety.
find that to be fascinating. So
Yeah.
those are ones I look forward to, as well as more of this, and playing more of these with Mark in the future on top of
100%.
that as well.
Yep.
Lots of love here. I can't really show you how the game works because we played his copy, so this was unpunched at the moment.
I've not punched it or clipped it or really organized it. But don't fear, we're going to play at least one of those 2 by the end of the year.
And I'm pretty
we're
sure
going to get them in line.
You can go back and watch the Brandywine video. I think I
Yes.
showed how to play the game because
Yeah.
the combats and the tactics cards
It's the
are the
same.
same thing. And the tactics cards are a joy, right? That's also one
They're
of the best
amazing.
parts about this game, where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I play a card and my guys are in a skirmish formation, and yours were like, oh, I'm just running away, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And that gives you a modifier to combat. And
Yep.
on top of that, so it's little games within a game that are just fun, where you're playing the other player even more than you're playing the rules.
I feel like I really like the combat system because it really is just an accumulation of different DRMs to come to a number that you're trying to hit. More often than not, that number is going to be somewhere between 5 and 9 on a 10-sider. So it's hard,
yeah, usually
but
very hard.
the better modifiers you have to get that number down, the better for you and the better your attacks are going to be. Most of our attacks were in the 7, 8, and 9. Part of that was because of the fog, which added some negatives.
Yep, hurts.
But part of it was because the Continentals just aren't as good as the British and the Hessians, and the militia definitely aren't. But I very much enjoy the combat system. It's crunchy. When you throw the combat tactic cards in, it makes it even more crunchy. But the reality is it's just a grouping of DRMs that give you a final number you roll. Mark always rolls 2 dice. I'm not really sure why.
That was a really interesting thing, and
Yeah.
that's an idiosyncrasy I've never seen before.
Well, he didn't do that when we did Savannah.
No,
that I remember.
But he said he picked that up subsequently.
Okay.
And so what Mark does is that in rolling in D10, he says, "I'm rolling the red one."
Yeah, and he rolls them both.
And he rolls them both, and so he does that because
he likes the weight.
he likes the
said.
feel of rolling 2
Yeah.
dice instead of 1.
Yeah.
Which I get.
Yeah, it's an idiosyncratic thing that
It
he's
was
picked
definitely
up.
because in my brain I was like, but the odds, and you're like, no, that's not how it works. Mathematically, that's not how it works. He's just rolling 1 die.
Yeah.
He could be rolling it with an acorn, and it would be the same effect.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I had to tell myself.
You're right. But it
When he first did it, I was like,
yeah, what's he? Well, I thought to myself, boy, I know it's been like 6 months since we played. Is there some new rule in Germantown that I wasn't aware of?
Because we've played lots of games where you roll the 2 dice, one's a hit and one's a morale,
Yeah.
and you refer to
or
the morale
whatever.
if the morale,
Yeah.
if the hit tells you to look at the morale.
Yeah.
But he was just doing it just like because he likes the way it feels, and I was like,
Yeah.
he's not wrong. Rolling 2 dice is better than 1.
Yeah, it feels better. But anyway, yeah, love the system, love the tri-pack, love the concept of the tri-pack, uber value. And if you have not played this system, I would recommend you get to it. We played 3 games. I just want to play more games, and it's just good.
Is this my favorite AmRev system?
Oh,
I think so, and it's not.
Other than I very much enjoy both Washington's War and Liberty or Death. They're different games.
Yes.
But AmRev battle systems, I think 100% yes.
Yeah.
It's just well done.
Liberty or Death is like the whole war, and that's amazing.
But it's a different scale. It's a
Yeah.
different concept. So is Washington's War. It's totally a different concept.
I like this. Yeah.
Yeah,
like this
I
more
love
than
this,
Washington's
yeah.
War, though. Yeah, this is an extremely good value.
Yep.
And the battles in this are ones that as an Englishman, not super mega familiar with either. And so this is all new stuff to me, which is always fun. Always appreciate that. And it's a blast. And I love that Mark sat down, played this with us, and we were able to kind of all get in on this action. And I look forward to a lot more from both this pack and more to come in the future as well. So the AmRev Tri-Pack 2 from the Battles of the American Revolution from GMT Games, you got to check this out.
100%.
It's that simple. Check this out. Play it with your dad. Play it on any of the anniversaries of these battles.
Play it with yourself.
Yes.
Right? You've got a strategy tactics matrix
I swear
now.
this wasn't in the first one.
No, it wasn't. I think it's just
Which
reprinted.
is so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
So
Maybe it was and I just missed it, but I don't think
I
so.
feel like we would have known about that.
Well, what are they up to now? 30,
Yeah.
like 37? So this was number 22. That was like 5 years ago.
So they
6 years
definitely,
ago.
this definitely existed.
Yeah,
But I
just
remember. It might not have
Yeah.
been in the box. And maybe it did and we missed it.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
This is
So
like,
maybe it's not something new.
this is like, oh dang.
Yeah,
Like,
kind of cool.
I would love to try that out and see how that works too.
Well, hell, I would like to use this. Maybe it'll make better decisions than I do.
Just,
when I
I'm going
do
to
it.
use this for
Yeah,
myself.
I'm just going to roll the die. I'm going to play that card. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that the next time we play.
Try and outfox this.
Yeah, a die roll. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Roll.
I
Yeah.
also don't know what I'm going to
Yeah,
do.
right.
Nah, that's
Yeah.
You can't beat me if I don't know what I'm going to do.
Nope.
You got to check this out. You got to play this. Incredible fun. You're going to have a great time with that, I promise. Appreciate you very much for tuning in. I'm Alexander from PlayersAid.com.
And I'm Grant.